Are you constantly caught up in the what ifs and the if onlys? Are you replaying every moment that you wish you could change? Maybe you're wondering how things might have been different. It's easy to get trapped into that endless cycle, and it really is an endless cycle. But I promise you, it is holding you back, and is holding you back from healing, and is holding you back from peace. So let's talk about how to break free from the regrets and start moving forward with hope and also some self-compassion for yourself. So let's dive in. First of all, the weight of regret. I want you to understand the weight of regret because it is heavy. If you are the mom that is constantly thinking, what if I had pushed less about this topic or that topic? I want to remind you that this hindsight bias, which is really what it is, it doesn't account for the fact that at the time, in the moment, whether it was last year or 10 years ago, you genuinely believed that you were encouraging your son or daughter. So you may have pushed them, but you did it out of encouragement. So every time a regretful thought comes up in your head, I want you to remind yourself that you made that decision based on what you knew then, not what you know now, or even that you did the best decision that you thought was right. Every decision you made, just because someone doesn't like it, doesn't mean it was wrong. Number 2 is why we cling to the what ifs and the if only thinking. I feel that if we can pinpoint the exact moment that things went wrong, we somehow think that we can fix it. So if I only hadn't reacted angrily that day, maybe she wouldn't have left. Maybe she wouldn't have ran off. Maybe she wouldn't have chose that lifestyle. But I want to encourage you to even document some of those what ifs or the if onlys, because those are thoughts that will overtake you. And so for 1 week, I want you to think about that. What if you wrote down the list of all those things? And as you review them, I want you to think about how you had no control over some of those things. You were doing the best that you could in the moment. Not to say we don't make mistakes, and there are things that we do regret. But today I'm talking about those things that really are holding you back, the things that you can't change, right? So number 3 is how these things do hold you back. So you might be repeatedly thinking, what if I had listened more during, his or her teenage years? Teenage years are tough. And that kind of thinking, though, will prevent you from accepting the relationship's current reality and make you feel stuck in guilt. So it's really not even allowing us to be present. And so if that thought comes up, the what if, I want you to think about, how is it serving me right now? Is this thought serving me? And if it's not helpful, which we know it's not, I need you to shift your focus to something simple. Go out and take a walk. It's kind of like that stop, breathe, move concept that I always talk about. We need to be able to move forward. And for those of you that do want to move forward, I want to just briefly mention, if you are ready to take that next step in taking care of yourself during this difficult time, if you're looking for a lifeline, you're committed to finding peace and you want support, I want to help you explore how I can help you through this estrangement or difficult relationship with your child. During this season, I want you to book a discovery call with me when you're ready, where we can focus on your needs, your journey, and I want to know how this is affecting you, and so I can provide you with information on how I can support you. So if you are ready to invest in yourself, you can click the link to schedule your call, and it is in the pinned comment as well as in the description. Number 4 is acceptance. Acceptance is the key to healing. It is the first key. We have to accept the current reality and not live in the past or in the future. So one thing you might be struggling with is to accept that maybe your child has chosen not to speak to you for right now, and maybe you're constantly replaying those past arguments. But rather, I want to encourage you to practice acceptance of where we're at. I accept that this is where our relationship is right now, because that brings you to the present moment, and it's going to help your brain keep you in the present moment versus strategizing from the past or the future. And so you need to realize that you are worthy of love, you're worthy of forgiveness, and even with past mistakes. And maybe you need to remind yourself of that. Maybe you need to speak those words out loud. We want to shift that mindset from regret to self-compassion. Number 5 is how to let go of the what if thinking. What if thinking? This one used to trip me up all the time. You might be thinking, if I had only reached out sooner, or, something to that effect, maybe things could be different. You can fill in the blank with your story. So how do you really know? I want you to ask yourself, if that's the case, if I would have reached out sooner, how do you know that reaching out sooner would have changed the outcome? You don't. You're just making a massive assumption. So I want you to write down also maybe some of those frequent what if thoughts, and next to it, write down maybe 3 reasons why it may not be true, or how the situation was out of your control. Because this will help you balance your perspective. And to be able to see it written down is going to help you as well. And number 6 is forgiving yourself. We all have imperfect choices that we've made. You're a human being. You are not going to get everything right as a woman, or as a mom, or as a wife, or as a friend, or as an employee, or anything else. And so if you think you are, it's just not going to happen. So as soon as we can accept that. But if you are feeling guilty about not being maybe financially supportive for some of you who might be enabling, or some of you who can't afford to help them in certain ways that maybe you wish you could, you have to accept that maybe you didn't have the resources at the time. So maybe you need to apologize. This is a letter also that I do recommend for a lot of moms to do, is to write yourself a letter and apologize to yourself and give yourself some kindness and some understanding and realization that you're human. Because guess what? You are. So I just want to remind you that letting go of the what ifs and the if onlys, it's a gradual process, as you can see. And every small step towards acceptance and self-compassion, that's a victory on this healing journey, because that's what you're on. You're on a journey. And so I hope you can incorporate some of these examples, and I hope that this helped you. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.